to everyone watching worldwide. This is CNN 10, and I'm Carl Azus. It's great to see you this Tuesday. We're starting in the U.S. and then moving to Japan to fill you in on the latest concerning the coronavirus pandemic. President Donald Trump has extended his administration's social distancing guidelines. These are government suggestions intended to help prevent the spread of COVID-19. They urge Americans to avoid groups of more than 10 people. They say older people should stay home. And they also encourage Americans to work and learn from home. Those guidelines were scheduled to end on Monday, and the president had previously said that Easter Sunday, April 12th, would be a great time to reopen some parts of the United States. But this week, after looking over disease information with his top health advisors, President Trump said the Easter deadline was, quote, just an aspiration, and he said he'd lengthen the government's social distancing guidelines until April 30th.
Nothing would be worse than declaring victory before the victory is won. That would be the greatest loss of all.
The president added he believed America would be well on its way to recovery by June 1st. Several health officials we've heard from in the U.S. and abroad have said the COVID-19 pandemic is going to get worse before it gets better. Among all of the health problems it's caused and events it's postponed are the 2020 Summer Olympics and Paralympics. The Summer Games were supposed to kick off in Tokyo, Japan on July 24th. Leaders from the International Olympic Committee, Japanese Olympic organizers, and the Japanese government held a phone call on Monday and decided the events would start almost exactly a year later on July 23, 2021. IOC President Thomas Bach said humankind currently finds itself in a dark tunnel and that these Olympic Games can be a light at the end of it. But for the country of Japan, the buildings it's constructed for the events, and for the athletes themselves, this presents a number of new challenges. How can they be overcome?
No visit to Tokyo's Asakusa neighborhood is complete without a ride on a rickshaw. But this year, almost no one's riding. This is a lot of empty rickshaws here.
Yes, we have to fight, like coronavirus.
Finding customers is like fighting over scraps for rickshaw drivers like Yoshi Furuya. And now that Tokyo 2020 is postponed at least until next year, the road ahead is looking long and lonely. Japan's tourism industry is bracing for an economic bloodbath. Millions of jobs and billions of dollars are on the line. When you combine postponing the Olympics and the coronavirus outbreak, can you put a price tag on how much that's going to cost Japan?
It's likely that the loss will be around 36 billion US dollars.
36 billion US dollars.
The damage is quite big.
Keio University professor Sayuri Shiraishi says that astronomical cost includes cancellation and maintenance fees for more than 36 Olympic venues, compensation for thousands who've already purchased condos in the Olympic Athletes' Village, billions in broadcasting rights and prepaid advertising.
If we do it next year, we don't know how successful this 2020 Olympics will be.
More than 4 million tickets are already sold, some seats costing up to $3,000. $800 for 2 tickets?
Yes.
Wow. Demand was so high, ticket holders like Kenji Fuma had to enter a lottery. He wonders if his luck has run out. Has anyone told you what's going to happen with your tickets?
Nothing didn't happen yet, so even the government didn't send any emails and didn't make any announcements, so we're just waiting for the next steps.
Fans are not the only ones waiting. Olympic organizers need to sort out a mind-boggling jigsaw puzzle, resolving scheduling conflicts with other major sporting events, rescheduling Olympic qualifiers. Kaori Yamaguchi is a 1988 Olympic judo bronze medalist and a member of Japan's Olympic Committee. She knows postponement has a huge impact on athletes. If the games are delayed by a year, their training schedule drastically changes, she says. But I think the athletes can handle it. Yamaguchi says this is a marathon, not a sprint. The coronavirus crisis will end. The Olympics will go on. Japan will have its moment in the global spotlight.
10-second trivia. The Night in Lisbon was written by what author who also penned All Quiet on the Western Front? Neville Shute, Graham Greene, Stephen Crane, or Erich Maria Remarque? German writer Erich Maria Remarque wrote both of these novels. Lisbon is the capital of Portugal. It was also a transit point in World War II for refugees who were fleeing Nazi Germany. But its history goes back much farther than that, given that Lisbon is thousands of years old. Right now, the city is shut down, like many other capitals, grappling with coronavirus. But once that passes, it'll once again be an extraordinary place to visit, and you don't have to wait another moment to join us on a virtual trip there.
Lisbon, Portugal beautifully combines old world charm with modern culture and sophistication. Adding to its appeal, it's a bargain for tourists.
Well, for any traveler looking for a great travel deal right now, Lisbon is actually the perfect choice. It's one of the most affordable cities in Europe right now.
Located on the west coast of Portugal, this capital city overlooks the Tagus River.
Lisbon is actually built on 7 hills, so if you're going there, you should definitely pack your walking shoes.
As you stroll along winding cobblestone streets, you will find tiles, or azulejo, are everywhere in Lisbon. The Moors introduced the art of tile making in the 8th century, and the Portuguese are still masters of the craft today. The National Museum of Tile, housed in a lovely former convent, is dedicated to the art. Highlights include the tiled Manueline cloisters, the Lisbon cityscape dating from 1738, and a tiled nativity scene from 1580. To see another practical craft elevated to an art form, stop by the National Coach Museum. The museum, founded by Queen Amelia in 1904, is home to a one-of-a-kind collection of ornately embellished coaches and carriages, some dating back to the early 1700s. One neighborhood packed with must-sees is Belém, Portuguese for Bethlehem, about 30 minutes west of the city center.
People go there for 3 main things: the monastery, a Tower of Belém, and a pastry shop.
The Jeronimes Monastery includes a mixture of architectural styles.
It's this beautiful 16th century structure that took 50 years to build, and it's not hard to see why. The architecture on the outside, you'll see detailing that really refers to the nautical history of Portugal. So in the cloisters, the columns look like coiled ropes. You'll see anchors and seashells embedded kind of on the exterior, and it's really quite lovely.
Just down the road is the Pasties Jubilees, founded in 1837. The pastry shop is famous for its creamy egg custard tarts.
They're made from a secret recipe, a recipe that came from the monastery, Jeronimus, which is just beside us. And the fact that we make them all throughout the day and they're always warm and freshly made, I think that makes the big difference.
These egg custard tarts, actually, they make about 10,000 of them a day, and it's not hard to see why. It's very easy to eat 3 or 4 of them. They're under €1 a piece, so they're priced just right.
Once you've had 2 or 3 pastries, a walk along the Tagus River leads to a storybook castle on its banks, the Belém Tower. Built between 1515 and 1520, the structure marks Portugal's many maritime victories and was once used as a military base to guard the port from pirates.
When it was built, it was actually on a small island in the middle of the river. The flow of the river has since moved, so it's actually now on the banks of the river.
At Michigan's Grand Traverse Academy, it's a tradition to notify students in person when they become valedictorian or salutatorian. But because the school's closed due to COVID-19, the principal had to get creative.
You are GTA's 2020 class valedictorian.
I know.
You are.
Oh my gosh, thank you so much.
And as far as the salutatorian announcement went, well, the principal got creative with that too. Some people might choose to drive through that kind of excitement, but who can keep it all bottled up? When your principal mission is to be salutatorian your top 2 students, but all the doors are closed, sometimes you gotta open a window or drive up to one to wish them your congratulations, and then you can take your valedictory lap. Windhoek International School is watching today. It's in the African nation of Namibia. Thank you for subscribing to our official YouTube channel. I'm Carl Azus for CNN.